This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm here with Lighthouse Business and Personal Solutions. Since 2021, they have been providing innovative solutions and real estate insurance for businesses and individuals in Colorado Springs and basically across the entire state. I'm joined now by Danica Taylor, who is the Managing Director, Realtor, Advisor. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me, Gary.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, this is real estate is not something you've done your entire life.
No.
Yet when you jumped into it, you jumped in both feet first. You're a native of Colorado, formerly educated at UNC Greeley.
Yes.
You've studied abroad overseas. You became a licensed realtor in 2017. Took you a little bit of time to really find your niche of what it is you want to do. Share with us how this passion got started for you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. You did your research. So my husband and I had some small businesses together before I went into real estate. And that's kind of what opened up the door to real estate, because we were in residential remodeling at the time for homes. And that kind of died down with the collapse of 2008 and the repercussions that we all felt. And one day we were sitting on the couch and he looked at me and he said, maybe you should go into real estate. And I was like, kind of makes sense. Why don't I go into real estate? And so that's what opened up the door for real estate. And then I stepped into the commercial arena pretty quickly, all things considered. But it's not a door that I've heard opens easily. So when it opened, I ran through it. And then when COVID hit, I was working with several different, small business owners looking for a space to lease or buy. And when they shut down, of course, it directly impacted me. And the longer the shutdown happened, the more bored I got. But also, I just sat there asking myself, what can I do to give more value to people? And I recalled, a couple of my clients saying, the landlord's requiring insurance. Do you know anybody? And I sat there going, actually, I don't. And so that's what birthed the insurance part. So it was
adding more value to your clients.
Correct.
That really was the bottom line there. I mean, we live in this beautiful state of Colorado. You've lived here your whole life.
Yes.
You've seen changes that our state has come across. Why has Colorado continued to be popular? Whether you love the city or if you love the great outdoors, why do people find their happy balance here, would you say?
I think it's because we do offer that great balance of city and mountain life. As you can see, the mountains are right behind us. Pikes Peak is in her beautiful glory. And it's not that far. You can jump in the car and within 10, 15 minutes, at least from where we're standing, you can be on a trailhead with your bike or hiking or just taking a walk, whatever it may be. But then if we go that direction, a couple minutes, you're in the city and you can be enjoying the nightlife or a night out or whatever it may be. So we really do offer that balance, and it's just a gorgeous state,
It is a gorgeous state. I mean, in your real estate career, you've experienced the ups and downs, trial and errors. Share with me how you found that niche of commercial still ended up being a great fit for you, even though you're able to help anyone, residential or not.
Honestly, I was about to step out of the residential. I was about to step out of real estate altogether. I was so frustrated. Because residential does tend to have an emotional component. Sellers are tied to their homes emotionally, buyers are tied because they want a home. Whereas commercial is much more the bottom line. Does it make sense to the business owner? Does it make sense to their financials? And I was walking my dogs one day, and a friend of mine called me up and said, hey, you still doing that real estate thing? And I begrudgingly said, yeah, why? And he goes, I have 2 clients who are looking for a commercial space. Can you help them? And of course, the phrase fake it till you make it, kind of have that down to a science. I said, of course I can help them. Met with them. And then at the time I ran back to my brokerage and I was like, who is in the office who can help me with commercial? Because I have a legitimate client. And that's how the door opened. And I have found quite the home in this realm ever since. I really enjoy it.
You really gravitated to that mindset more so than you did the emotional roller coaster of the residential. I mean, obviously you're able to help both, but in commercial, are the goals different and the needs different? And is that something that you enjoy, actually getting to know that owner and what those needs are?
Absolutely. That's one thing. That's one thing that drives my passion is when my husband and I had our small businesses, we didn't have a lot of guidance. The SBDC was just getting up and going. That's a small business development center down here. But even then, they didn't have a lot of resources, and so we just kind of were shooting at the hip when we had our own company. And I think a lot of business owners do that, which is fine to a point. But we all need help. We all need guidance. And so I'm happy to have the history that I have behind
Yeah.
me, be it good and bad, because we have both, in our history. But I'm just grateful that I'm able to walk in and help those business owners. And I really do have a passion of getting to know them, their business, their short-term goals, their long-term goals, and if I can help both on both sides, the real estate and the insurance, I'm kind of helping umbrella both,
Yeah.
their whole business.
Speaking of both sides, all sides, I mean, many realtors have experience when it comes to buying and selling real estate. But you yourself, you have been, you're kind of multi-sided because of the fact you've actually done restoration, remodeling. Why do you think those experiences actually help you in this way?
That's a great question, and thanks for asking. I'm in a lot of ways, I'm able to walk into, be it a building or a home, and I'm able to look at the broader scope, the
Okay.
broader landscape, and I can tell if a crack in the wall is from general settling or do we have major foundation issues. That's a big plus. Where as a lot of people just kind of look and they're, oh, crack, and it's like, that could be a sign that there's something underneath, that's going really bad. I'm not an expert, but I know enough
Fair
to
enough.
be able to at least see the warning signs of, something may be going on here that we may need to investigate, or a lot of things people otherwise may overlook. So in that regard, it does help.
To the untrained eye, there's a lot of things in real estate that can be unnoticed, and you find out later on, like you say, you know enough to be dangerous, you know enough to keep people maybe out of danger when it comes to real estate.
Yes.
I mean, let me ask you for a commercial in buying and selling, obviously that's something that you do. What about when it comes to leasing? I imagine that's something that is an area as well. Is that important for the owners out there to have someone that has a little experience in that area as well?
Absolutely. I would never advise any business owner who wants to go into a lease to try to do it by themselves.
Okay.
It's imperative that they have somebody on their side, whether it's a real estate agent or an attorney, because as coming in as the leasee, the leaseor is the one calling all the shots. They call all the terms, and if you don't have somebody on your side who can help guide you, then you could really set yourself up for some dangerous waters down the road.
With the Rocky Mountains all around us, I mean, Colorado, it's a luxurious place to live. Is the luxury home still something that's sought after here? And is that still an area you tend to be able to help people in?
Absolutely. Luxury homes are still very hot on the market. I mean, look at our state. It's a gorgeous state. Who wouldn't want to live here, honestly? And who wouldn't want to have a beautiful luxury home? So, yes, the luxury market is still very much um, in demand. It tends to move a little bit slower just because that market tends to
Okay.
be a little smaller. But yes, we are very much still in high demand.
Regardless if you're doing luxury homes or commercial spaces, for you at the end of the day, it's about making that transaction as seamless and enjoyable as possible. I mean, is that important for you when you realize that you've kind of been the conduit or the advisor in that space?
Absolutely. My biggest goal is to gain the trust of the people that I'm working with, and then develop that trust as the months, as the years go on. Like, I'm not transactionally based. I'm very much relational. I want to have those relationships. I want to build on them, because if you look at humanity, it's all about relationships. It's all about our network with each other. And if I can be a small support for somebody that's going to help other people down the road, then I absolutely want to do that. But I also want to make the experience, like you said, fun and enjoyable
Exactly.
as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's not emotional when you're talking about commercial, it is still something that that the process can be enjoyed.
Yes.
And when you realize you're getting what you wanted and having someone at the table that can help them as well. I mean, you bring value to the table regardless of what you do. Why was it important for you to partner up as an advisor for growth marketing, growth management group? Why did you feel that was a good fit?
The growth management aspect of it all, they help businesses with tax incentives.
Okay.
So with the past administration and the current administration, a lot of bills have been passed to help businesses get back on their feet. And so it just kind of fit. It absolutely fit. If it helps the business owner, then it is an aspect of the business that we can tap into.
I mean, regardless if you're an individual or a business, obviously all of us want to save or take advantage of tax breaks, incentives, and we now are in the aftermath of COVID, hopefully. Are there still advantages out there for businesses, and is it something you can help them look at?
Certain advantages, yes. The biggest advantage that growth management group can help with is the cost segregation. That's very valuable to commercial owners.
Okay.
So if they own commercial real estate, that is an aspect that they can tap into. There's other aspects that we can look at, but it all depends on the business, how much revenue they had. There's a lot of components that go into it, but it's something that absolutely we can look into.
That's interesting. I mean, the goal for you is about educating and protecting your clients. Is insurance still the best way when it comes to protecting? And why is this an area that you felt was important in your arsenal of solutions?
Sure. Again, this goes back to a personal story. My brother was involved in a horrible accident back in 2005, and we were underinsured as a family, and we had just lost my dad. And so it went to court, and it was something that devastated both sides. And people really I don't feel like a lot of people understand truly how insurance can protect them and their loved ones. And we live in a crazy world, let's face it. Unfortunately, too many people don't know how to put their phones down when they're driving. And even though it has been deemed illegal to have your cell phone in your hand while you're driving, so many people do it, and we see accidents every day. And if you are not properly protected, somebody who's not paying attention can literally change your world. So I'm really passionate about making sure that people understand what their limits mean, and how it can protect them in the long term. So many people just look at, okay, well, I can only afford this much this month. And I understand that budget is a huge component, and
Sure.
we have to work within those confines. However, we also need to look at the broad spectrum of what are we trying to protect? What are you worth? What are your assets worth? Because if you get involved in an accident that is deemed your fault, that's where those wonderful attorneys are going to, look after. That's where they're going to go. And I just like to make sure that people really understand what those limits mean and how to properly protect them.
Like you said, it's more of a heartfelt need for you to help people. You've been there, I've done that, and I don't want to see other people do that as well. I mean, we're talking about devastating fires that we just seen in Colorado. I mean, is the public starting to realize that it's not just about being insured, but being properly insured to make sure it's covered?
Absolutely. Yeah. And a lot of people just don't understand the questions to ask their agents. And not all agents are equal and made the same.
Yep.
And there's a lot of good agents out there. And there's a lot of not so great agents out there. And for me, I'm more passionate about making sure that people are educated and they know what they have. And if they choose to go with somebody else, great. As long as you're covered, and I know that, then I'm happy. But if you're not covered properly,
Exactly.
let's at least talk. Let's have a conversation. Start that conversation. Yeah.
That is excellent. You're a local native. You really have experienced this world, the world abroad. At the end of the day, for you, is it really about building these relationships and helping people?
Absolutely. I'm all about growing my business very organically. And by organically, I mean by relationships. I truly believe that if I help you, for example, and you're happy with my services, your family's adequately protected, or I get you your business the right, location, and your business is booming and you're experiencing prosperity, you're going to tell somebody else.
Sure.
how how I was able to help you, and then maybe I'm able to help them. And it's that spider web, analogy, where it's just one link at a time.
One at a time.
And I would much rather have that and have a solid foundation with great relationships than have things explode, and make a bunch of money, but at the end of the day, not have the trust of my clients and not have their referral. That's the greatest compliment, is when someone refers me to somebody else. And I handle referrals very, very, they're top priority, in my world, because somebody entrusted them to me.
You don't take them lightly, that is for sure.
No.
When you realize somebody handed someone over to you. It's been an honor to tell your story. I'm sure folks out there understand a little bit more about you as well. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is your contact information. Obviously, this is an individual that began this particular company in 2021, but honestly, with the years of experience she's bringing to the table, not only in real estate, but also in business across the board, helping you ask those right questions when you're out there, be it residential or commercial. But she understands the needs of the commercial. She understands the investment. She wants to hear what your goals are and help you get there as quickly and most enjoyably as possible. Once again, that is Lighthouse Business and Personal Solutions, since 2021, educating and protecting clients they serve by providing a light of hope when the storms of life come their way. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.